Hey, what's going on, guys? FaZe Censor Martin here, and today we're going to be talking about Noble Gaming dropping, firing as Keemstar would say, getting rid of, releasing, whatever you want to say, dropping their entire pro team. So before we get into it, I just want to say I just woke up and I checked my Twitter and I got my really bad bed hair going, but I checked Twitter and they made a statement saying that they're going to be dropping their entire team, and it's literally all over my timeline, and I figured I'd make a video talking about if I was to be a pro player on Noble and what I would do if I was them in this situation. So if I was to wake up and I looked at I believe Sender's Twitter, he didn't even tweet yet today, he probably went to bed a few hours ago, he's probably sleepy and he's going to wake up to hear the news that he's getting dropped from his organization. So if I was in their position, I'll be very upset, I'd be mad, I'd be angry, I would want to get an explanation from the owner, but at this point I think it's too late. It's pretty much a done deal that they're going to be getting Impact for the entire team to fulfill their roster for the first event this upcoming 3 weeks from now, Columbus. So they're probably going to have Impact play in their place, and from Noble's standpoint and their point of view, if I'm them, you know, they had one good placement, they got second at the playoffs, they had a really good event, Slasher especially had a good event, and all four of those players are talented, but they don't have big names like Impact, and those players do. Those are very high reputable players in the community that have won a world championship, that have been there, that have done that. And it seems like from their perspective that it's a smart business decision, and that's what Call of Duty is at the end of the day. You can't hold a grudge, you can't really get too mad at people for doing what's in their best interest, because it happens all the time. People are constantly getting screwed over, and it's just gotten to the point where it always is a business decision. You just have to be able to move on. So I would understand that in the back of my head if I'm a player on Noble, and I would use that when I'm moving forward to try to get on a new team, because you're always going to get dropped, you're always going to get replaced, you're always going to be in a position where you're dropping a player when you're playing professional Call of Duty. It's just how it is. It's happened to me multiple times when I was on Strictly Business. They basically dropped their entire team and allowed me to take over and build my team around, and I constantly dropped players that I didn't want to drop. I dropped Fears twice, I dropped Dito twice, I dropped Apathy maybe once, I dropped Saints once, and then we always got back together, and there was always reasons behind it, and it always sucked having to make the roster change. But at the end of the day, you always have to do what's in the best interest of yourself, and that's what Noble's doing right now. So if I'm a player, I completely understand it. I wouldn't go on Twitter, I wouldn't argue about it, I wouldn't say how upset I was. Even if I was upset, I wouldn't want people to think less of me, and that's something I really need to learn, is to how to act professional and how to act a certain way to certain people, because you don't want to give the wrong vibe. You don't want to, you know, if you're gonna start yelling and bitching and complaining and screaming, if something bad happens to you once, then what's not gonna make you do that again if you're playing with that person and something bad happens? So you never really want to go to Twitter to vent about something like that, even though it's just so hard not to, especially since, you know, your entire org dropped your entire team. But if I'm a player on that team, I would definitely talk to the owner one-on-one and see where they were coming from and see why they would do it, and see if they have any help or any suggestions to help me get on a better team. And I would also look at my other options too, and I would start contacting teams immediately, since the game came out 5 days ago and we have an event in 3 weeks. So I would definitely want to get on a team as fast as possible. And the biggest thing for the players on Noble is that they're already in the league, they're already guaranteed a spot. But the problem with that is that MLG said that you could pick up anyone you want, and the org could pick up, as long as they have 2 players that were at the playoffs, they can pick up whoever they want. So theoretically, if I'm a player on Noble, if I'm Miyagi, Slasher, Sender, or Chino, I'm 4 players who qualified for the league. However, if Noble was to pick up, let's say, Parasiting and Mirror, they could pick up players that aren't in the league like Ix and Teep, which means that there's 2 players that were already in the league that won't be playing in the league. So that's a difficult thing that I think needs to be balanced and adjusted, because it's not fair for the players in that aspect. Because if I'm a player on Noble and I get dropped, I should be able to get on a new season 1 team for Advanced Warfare. I shouldn't have to play in the open bracket, because I already, you know, did everything in my power as a player to win, to get second place, to qualify for the next season, and I could just get screwed over just because the organization wants to drop me and get higher known and reputable players. So that's the only thing I think needs to be adjusted, is that if you're already guaranteed in the league, you should already be guaranteed a spot. And in this case, it looks like at least one of those 4 players isn't going to be playing in Season 1 of Advanced Warfare, or they're going to have to play in the open bracket at the first event, just because there's going to be players like, for example, the players on EG, who are going to get picked up on Season 1 teams for Advanced Warfare for the first event. And there's nothing that these players on Noble can do about it, because all the organizations have power. And it's actually funny, because I got a tweet about 30 minutes ago saying, actually I'm going to pull it up right now, I literally just got it, I'm going to put it up on the screen as well. Aaron_OMA said, remember when FaZe Censor, etc. left SB, and it was about players having power. Look now, no middle ground. So after COD Champs, I left strictly business, and I had all the power in the world. I could do whatever I wanted to do. There was no rules, there was no regulations, and we basically screwed, or quote-unquote screwed, the organization over in order to further my career and further what I wanted to do as a player. And it was a smart move for me, and it was a smart business decision, but the org, strictly business, was put in a really tough situation, and there wasn't any middle ground. It was just basically the player could do whatever they wanted to do, and the org had no say or power. It's either the org had to bribe you or offer you an extremely high amount of money or whatever they wanted to do to make you stay on the team, or you were just going to go up and leave. So now it's all about the organizations having all the power in the world, and the players don't. So for players who are high and reputable and you know, very high in stock, and people want to see them play, and they're very good players, they're going to be the ones who get all the opportunity in the world. But for the players that are bottom tier, lower tier, or just players that are really good that aren't really known, for example in this case Noble, you know, those are all good players. It's just that they don't have the big followings like other teams and players do. Those are the players that are going to be getting the short end of the stick, and that's something that needs to change. So if I'm a player on Noble, I'd definitely be contacting MLG and seeing what I could do about this, seeing all the rules and all the opportunities that I have, as long as I could stay in the league. That's what I would want to do, because I don't want to have to play through the open bracket with all these top players and teams and all these people and players coming back. I think I'm sick. I think I have a cold, but just bear with me, guys. If I'm a player that's on Noble, I want to do everything in my power to get on the league. So step one, I would make a tweet about it. I would say, you know, thanks Noble for the opportunities. It's sad to see something like this happen, but there's nothing I can do. I just have to move on. And then I would go to MLG, I would contact them, and then I would also talk to Noble as well and see where they stand. Then I'd start contacting other teams and players and seeing what my best options were. So that's what I would do if I was a player in their perspective. And it really does suck to see this. I'm really sorry to see that. But at the end of the day, it is a business, and you have to understand that. And Noble's just trying to do what's in the best case for them. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did like it, please give it a thumbs up. I could do more videos like this as well, you know, because I'm always in a situation where, you know, you got to drop a player, you got to pick up a player. I'm the captain of the team, and I have a lot of power in who we pick up. And sometimes you have a lot of different people contacting you at once, and it can be stressful, and you don't know what you should do, and you have to make up your mind, and you can't please everybody. But you know, I just wanted to, you know, make this video just to see where people think about Noble, and I want to know what you guys think of what the organization did and what the players should be doing next too, because, you know, it's pretty sad to see this, but at the end of the day, like I said, it is a business. So I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Please give it a thumbs up, like the video, comment what you think is going to happen next with Noble and all the other teams, because this is just only the beginning of Roster Mania. So I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, this is your boy FaZe Censor Martin, and I'm out. Peace.